Hey folks, welcome to the Wealth Transfer with TC. Today I want to talk about prophecy and technical analysis, dealing with investments. And I feel like especially over the last few weeks that God has been wanting me to share that we just can't go by the prophetic word alone when we are looking at investing in any investments, whether it's crypto or the stock market. And over the last couple of years, I've been learning more and more how to trade, learning how to swing trade, learning how to read charts. And one of the things that I realized that most of the people that listen to this channel, most people are buyers and holders, right? So you buy and you hold, and you're waiting for that one moment when that investment is close to its peak and you sell off and it becomes life-changing. And for a while there, I was trying to get people on the same page to where I was going, but I realized that I couldn't do that because not everybody is technically savvy. Many people have never even traded before, and not everybody has the time. Some people have family, some people have other obligations, and it makes it very difficult for them to learn. But it is a point to where at least people need to learn how to try to read charts, at least try to how to understand certain things like crypto cycles or when the Federal Reserve is speaking every month. And when Bitcoin had been dropping over like the last month, I'm hearing all these people talk about crypto cycles. It's just like I never heard anybody really even talk about that, that crypto goes through this 4-year cycle. And then so here we are, we're in another cycle. And one of the things what I believe guys wanted to share, that we can't just look at the prophetic. We have to look at the technical analysis too as well. And not just the short-term technical analysis, but the long-term too as well. So if you guys remember, back in November of 2021, we had a prophetic word from somebody who said that Bitcoin would reach 100,000 at the end of January. And that prophecy failed. It did not come to pass. Then we also had another prophecy from the same person who claimed it was from God, that Shiba Inu would be pennies on the dollar. And that prophecy was at the end of December. And that prophecy would be fulfilled in a few weeks. We waited all throughout January, and it did not come to pass. But if we had been looking at the technical analysis, either one or the other person was going to be wrong, and we found out who was wrong. So a lot of people, including myself, we had a lot of expectations, and it did not come to pass. But if we had been following technical analysis, right, I think that we would have been in a lot better position. A lot of us wouldn't have been maybe stacking up so much on Shiba Inu or any other coins, right? We would have been waiting for the moment that we have been in the last 3 weeks to stack up, right? And there's nothing wrong with stacking up coins, right? And just building up, maybe every 2 weeks you take out $100 and you buy cryptocurrency. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I think that if we had and paid closer attention to technical analysis as opposed to always the prophetic, maybe things would have been different, or even our interpretation of the prophetic too can throw us off as well. This video that I have right here in front of me, Sir Lewis, this is why I believe Bitcoin is going under 20K with technical analysis, March 23rd, 2022. And this just popped up in my feed, and I felt very strongly in my spirit that I needed to share this, and I needed to share this message and share a couple of his videos, because as the wealth transfer community as a whole, the wealth transfer community needs to look at both ends and not just rely on the prophetic. Because over the last 6 months, 8 months, a year, we've relied a lot on the prophetic, and a lot of people haven't gained. And part of that is due to also to not hitting the sell button when you see some massive gains. And because we weren't paying attention to the technical analysis, many of you would have sold and you would have gained profits. And at this point where we are at right now, you would have been able to pour in and got more crypto than you could probably ever imagine. So there's a lot of people that are very good at reading the charts, and they can give you an idea where Bitcoin is going to go. Now, of course, there are some things that can be the unexpected, right? That can happen, that could throw off everything. And right now we are looking, since we are very close to July, and we are looking at Bitcoin, prophetically speaking, which could be going to zero in July due to one of the prophetic words by Maria Conwell. And she did say that She did say that it did happen in a July, but to pray about which July it would happen in. So if it doesn't happen this July, then we're expecting next July, but we know that she has a prophetic anointing because her prophecies come to pass. But we have to look at the technical analysis because, first of all, we don't need to waste as much money in investing, whether it's the crypto markets or the stock market. It's like the stock market, sometimes, you wonder, I remember back, a couple years ago, you're like, well, why is the stock market, crashing today, right? Not even realizing that the Federal Reserve was speaking and was all negative, right? And I still see even today now, when the Federal Reserve speaks, I go on social media and there's tons of questions. Why is the markets falling today? Because they had no clue. Or the inflation numbers, and they don't understand why the markets were going down. Well, because the inflation numbers were really bad. Even if you don't have the time to learn, at least be following people that read the charts. So this channel, Sir Lewis, this link will be down below in the description. Okay, and then for those of you who are on the Patreon, I'm going to be posting, there are multiple channels that I watch and have been watching more recently that deal with technical analysis. And I can watch 3 or 4 people and I can put it all together and come up with my own conclusion. And then also I can look at the prophetic and then I can put those two together. Either way, there's always going to be events or things that are unexpected that could change the direction of the stock or the crypto markets, right? We had the war in Ukraine, which had an effect on both the crypto and the stock market. The other thing that I want to talk about is that we do have to learn how to hit the sell button. And a lot of times when we see life changing in our trading accounts, a lot of people don't hit that sell button. You can see your stock and it's up and you only put in $400 or $500 and you see it up 10,000 and you don't hit the sell button because you think it's going to go higher, right? Just as a perfect example, how many people didn't sell Zion oil when it was above $1? Right? Even though you invested very cheaply, how many of you actually sold? That's a perfect example, right? And then some of us were, after it went under $1, then we started unloading instead of unloading when it was up at its peak at $1.67 in that last round where it was at its highest. So we have to learn. There's so many things that we have to learn within the wealth transfer community. And people were like, well, we keep talking about the prophetic, but nobody's making any money. Well, if most people are buying and holding, yes, you're not really making money unless you're selling at those peaks. And if you're not swing trading, then you're not making money, right? Because you're just buying and holding. If a prophet or a dreamer gives you about a certain particular coin, just as an example, Prophet Solomon talked about Shiba Inu back in June of 2021, the very beginning of June 2021. All right, so it would have been cheap to invest then. And so when it went up to 4 zeros and an 8, how many people actually sold, right? It was at its peak. If you don't know technicals, you wouldn't have known that that was going to be the peak. But there were some people that did make a whole lot of money when they did sell. Now, if you held on to it, then of course you're not going to make any money. And I think that a lot of times, especially when we get a prophetic investment, we're waiting for that ultimate high. And you guys have to understand how the stock and the crypto markets work. It goes up and it goes down. It goes up and it goes down. And you can see that Bitcoin went all the way up to 69,000. And you see now it came all the way back down to 17,600. Eventually, it will make its run again. We just don't know where the exact bottom is. We can look at technical analysis that tells us anywhere from 10 to 16,500. We look at the prophetic, at least the more recent, the prophetic, around 16,000. But you can go look at Christopher Harris's prophetic dreams, and he does have some things where he says he saw it under 10,000. We don't know if that's that time yet. So Sir Lewis has this video that is on January 26, 2022. And the exact price Bitcoin will bottom for 2022. And in this video, he says 15,000. Say, for instance, if we were paying attention to technical analysis, we would have seen this video, and then we would have went to other technical analysis and confirmed this. How differently would we have invested? And what happened the following month after that? We had the invasion of Ukraine, which added to the situation. All right, so there's a lot of other people that have analysis that are saying around the same thing, and they all have some of the same reasons or slightly different reasons. All right, so from here on out, the way that I speak and the way that I talk is going to include technical analysis. So next month, I'm expecting, hopefully, and this is my interpretation and my expectation, that there's going to be some type of catalyst that brings down Bitcoin to zero, right? What do we have coming up in July? The next round of inflation numbers on July the 13th. What else do we have? On the 26th and the 27th of July, we have the Federal Reserve meeting. And guess what? They're thinking, right, that 100 basis points is not off the table. So they're saying anywhere from 75 to 100 basis points that they could raise the rates. Now, if they raise it to 100, it's going to crash the markets. You know what, folks? We have to be very careful. Whatever investments that you have in right now, so much short squeeze plays, because I do believe like AMC, yes, it probably will go down some, but I think there are going to be so many people that are going to be liquidated, so many people that are going to have to cover shorts. We can actually see an explosion on a lot of stocks that are short squeeze. We might not be able to see it that day, but I believe that's a possibility that could happen. So I felt led that to share this video and the other video that he has back in March, because he said not only in January, but it was reiterated several months later about why it's going under 20,000. So I believe that God wants me to share this. So I want you guys to give this guy a subscribe, and to anybody else that I share. And on the Patreon, I will put this link. I'll also put this link and a couple other technical analysis, so people that you can follow and you can put it all together. Now, I know not everybody's going to get it, but at least try to learn something. That way you can be better prepared. And as you get more, and as you get into this better financial position here pretty soon, as long as you start hitting that sell button, you're going to have the extra time to learn. I mean, if you can sit there and watch political videos, you can watch Fox News and CNN and all that stuff because you want to watch what's all going on in the politics and all that stuff. You have time to sit there and learn how to trade and learn how to read the charts, or at least watch people who are watching the charts. And so when he does, Sir Lewis, when he does go live, or you can ask him, to go to review certain stocks or cryptocurrencies. Now, one of the things that I have learned more than anything else, especially over the last year or so, that Bitcoin really rules the markets, and that when Bitcoin goes up, that's when a lot of the other coins are going to go up. So that's why we have to kind of focus on what happens with Bitcoin. Even though we're not invested in Bitcoin right now, we still have to watch it because it does dictate the markets. So just go ahead and give him a subscribe. He also has a lot of help videos, so I just really feel like that I'm led to really share this channel. So, and this is his page, Sir Lewis Invest to Rest. And that's what we're looking for, right? Because think about how different our lives would be if we were paying attention a lot closer to what was going on in the technical world, right? A lot of us would be resting right now. This is a learning experience, and hopefully it'll give you a different perspective. So anyways, folks, that is all that I have for today. And here is Sir Lewis. God bless. TC out.
What is going on, guys? Sir Lewis here, the YouTuber to invest to rest, and today I'm giving you guys here an update on Bitcoin and the crypto market overall, and I'm going to tell you guys where I think Bitcoin is heading. And also, guys, this is just my opinion. Please do your own research. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm going to get in depth here. Again, I made a video on where I think Bitcoin is going to bottom at in 2022 this year, so you guys can watch that after this. I go really in depth on the chart, but this is just an update video on where I think Bitcoin is heading right now and how the crypto market stands right now. And honestly, at the current moment, I'm super bearish for multiple reasons. We're just not in a very bull scenario, and the chart here just shows that. It's just a trend is going down. It looks like stairs, right? Like it's going downstairs right here. I literally listened to Jerome Powell. He was just so general, so broad, and he basically just said, we're just gonna wait until March to do something, right? So what that creates is a lot of uncertainty in the market, both for crypto and also the stock market. Also on that, next week I think Biden's supposed to talk about crypto regulation in order to protect national security, which is just insane. It shows you, how crypto is huge today, and government is literally going to regulate it for national security, right? And again, I'm just keeping it real with you guys. Even though I'm bearish, a lot of people don't like bearish people or channels. A lot of these channels that I watch, they're all just super bullish regardless of the time period. It's all about buying, DCA, the bottom is going to be in a couple couple days, this and that. As you guys know, I keep it real with you guys. I am probably the biggest crypto bull ever. You guys can watch my videos, my TikToks. I'm super bullish on crypto and Bitcoin long term. But in the short term, okay, at least until March, we're just super bearish, guys. I mean, just looking at this graph, okay, as you guys can see right here, this is a huge resistance right here. We literally touched it like 3 times already. And until we break that, we're going to keep trending down. And what I believe is going to happen, and I talked about this in my Bitcoin bottoming video, but I do think we're going to come down and touch one of these weekly MAs. I think that's going to be where Bitcoin bottoms at. And a lot of people are going to be surprised because, people don't think Bitcoin's ever going to go to 20,000, 15,000 ever again. And I do think that, Bitcoin below 20,000 is probably the best time to DCA in. But again, this is just my opinion. You guys got to do your own research. I'm just super confident in my analysis. After we break the 28,000, which was that huge support right in May in the summer, that's just going to be super clear to everybody that we're going to trend even lower, because as you guys know, this is what happens. A lot of people said that, during the summer, if it broke that the 20,000 range, it was going to be super fast down because there's literally no support in the 20,000 range, okay, ever in history in Bitcoin. So you guys can see, look at this huge gap right here, just buying pressure. There's nowhere in Bitcoin history that we had support here in the 20,000 range, right? So there's this huge gap, and then where does that stop at? It stops around 24. Then, that's not even a lot of support right there, and then it drops off around exactly 19,000. I do think that we're going to go here and touch one of these weekly MAs. Again, the reason why is because Bitcoin has done that in the past, okay? And as you guys can see right here, in 2018, we come down, right? The top right here, we break this resistance. After we break that, boom, look at that sharp downtrend right there. That's just super sharp, okay? And then boom, as soon as we touch that 200 weekly MA, we touch it again, and then we start hitting it up. Then what happens in 2019, we make a top right here. As soon as we break this resistance right here, what happens? We come down, and this time, this was the first time in history where Bitcoin went below the 200 weekly MA, as you guys can see, and actually touched the 300 weekly MA on the dot. It literally wicked down there in one day, and it touched it, and then boom, it just came back up. And then we had another huge bull run, right, which is the one that we're at now. And this is where I think it's going to do the same thing. We made a top here in 2021 of around 65,000. We're going to come down and we're going to test one of those weekly MAs, either the 200, the 300. I think it's going to be the 300 or maybe even the 400, right? I still do think that the bottom is going to be around 15,000, which is around here. It's going to wick to the bottom in less than an hour, minutes. So probably the best way to buy is limit orders. So again, guys, you just got to be vigilant. Just remember, if we break that 28,000, remember that we don't have any support here in history, okay? The 20s, there's barely any support here. So after that, it's going to be a very sharp drop down to 19,000, and then what I think is going to happen, we're going to wick down to 15,000 and then start coming back up and hopefully have a recovery and hopefully make new all-time highs this year, which I do think is going to happen. But towards the end of the year, after this whole bearish season, I do think we're going to start coming back up after touching one of those weekly MAs. So as you guys can see, I mean, you just look at a chart and you can just see that it just wants to test that weekly MA. I mean, you look at this, it's really not that far. A lot of people still think that we're not testing that weekly MA, that we're still in the bull market and we're going to, go back up and make new all-time highs. That weekly MA is coming up and we're coming down, and we're going to meet it somewhere over here, hopefully in February or maybe even early March. So that's just my opinion, guys. Again, not financial advice. Always do your own research. I'm not a financial advisor. This is only for entertainment purposes only, and just my opinion. And again, I'm super bullish crypto and Bitcoin long term, just not in the short term, right? With everything going on, the government, Russia and all these things going on, it's just not a very bullish scenario. And I think there's going to be a lot of sellers taking advantage of that. So yeah, thank you guys again. Follow me on Twitter, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Now, before you hit that dislike button, hear me out, okay? In this video, I'm going to talk to you guys on why I believe Bitcoin is going under 20K. I'm going to show you guys here some technical analysis, TA. I'm going to break down my reasoning, non-biased. Now, you guys know that over 80 to 90% of the crypto influencers nowadays are always bullish no matter what, no matter the macroeconomics, no matter what's going on. Obviously, you're bullish, you're a crypto channel, just like me, right? But you want to look at the charts, you want to look at the macroeconomics and leave your crypto crypto bias on the side. And you guys know that here on my channel, I keep it 100% real with you guys. I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm thinking. And you guys also know that I'm the biggest crypto bull ever. Just because I think we're going to go bearish for a short term does not mean that I'm bearish forever. I am bullish long-term crypto, and I do look forward to crypto going even more down. Why? Because you can buy even more, you can accumulate even more and get more crypto for your money. So I look at it as a good thing because it doesn't matter to me. Long-term, I am bullish and I know that this will recover. So let's hop on the TA right here and let me show you guys here my opinions on why Bitcoin is going to go under 20K. Now again, this is just why I believe, as you guys can see in the title, why I believe Bitcoin's going under 20K. And also guys, when I say going under 20K, I don't mean it's gonna be under 20K for like 3 months or 5 months. No, I think what's going to happen, it's gonna go under 20K for probably less than a day. This actually happened before. We had huge wick downs and then it was bought up super quick, and it's gonna have a very healthy V-shaped recovery back up after we hit somewhere under 20K. Now I'm right here on TradingView. It might look a little crazy here in my chart. I got the Fibonacci circles and all that stuff, but don't worry. One of my favorite indicators here, which is the 200 weekly MA. I'm gonna tell you why the 200 weekly MA is so important. It's this one right here. It's the orange one, red one right here. This is the 300 weekly MA. Now, why is this super important? And if you go back in time right here, right back in 2017 when we had that 20K top, right, came down, and then the bottom of the bear market, guess where it was? Boom, right over here, the 200 weekly MA. We bottomed at the 200 weekly MA, as you guys can see right there. It's right on the dot. Look at this. It's perfect. 200 weekly MA right there. Let's even go back more in time. Okay, back in, you know, what is it, 2014? We topped here and then we come down, right, bear market. Guess where we bottomed at? The 200 weekly MA. Look at this. Perfect bottom right here. Started coming up. And then right here, I just showed you the 2018, we bottomed at the 200 weekly MA. And then moving forward, 2019, actually 2020. Guess where we wick down? This is the type of action that I think is going to happen. Look at this huge wick that was bought back. Okay. Guess we went below the 200 weekly MA. We bottomed at exactly to the dot, guys. Look at this. To the dot. The 300 weekly MA. This is the 300 weekly MA. This was the first time that I think we went below the 200 weekly MA. After that, it was just bull season. And guess what's creeping up? That 200 weekly MA along with the 300. So I just showed you guys here past bear markets, we bottomed at the 200 or 300 weekly MAs. So this can definitely happen during this time as well. Now here's another indicator that I love, and it's called the TSA, the Truth Strength Indicator. You guys can add it. Now you're probably wondering, what is this? TSA is a technical momentum oscillator used to identify trends and reversals. Okay, I'm going to show you guys here how accurate this is on finding trends and reversals. Right over here, this is it right here. Just think of the red as a bearish and the blue as bullish. So we're right here, the top right over here, we cross red. The red crosses and it stays on top of the blue. We come down and we have the bear market. And this actually tells you ahead of time compared to the MACD. See the MACD cross? This was a little late. This was later than the TSA. The TSA, it showed you here the cross earlier than the MACD. And then what happens? We stay here flat until we have the cross right over here. Okay, we have the cross right over here, 2020. Right before the huge bull market. Look at this. Look at the cross. Right, blue on top, bull market. And then this is what worries me right now. Red crosses, right? Red crosses and the red is on top. Now again, this doesn't mean that it can be forever. Obviously blue can turn this around and go over red. But again, the TSA is it tells you the trend. It tells you the reversal. And it tells you very accurately and fast, especially compared to the MACD. And even the MACD cross was a little late. Look at this. The MACD cross right here and the TSA cross right here. So this right here just tells me that the trend is obviously bearish and that we most likely are going more down. Here's another interesting thing about the MACD. Right here, look, two red blocks right here. Two red blocks, right? When was the last time we had, you know, two red blocks? The exact time that we bottomed at that 300 weekly MA, right? And then right after we had a huge bull run. So this is what I think is going to happen. I think it's going to be a very unexpected wick down, just like it happened here in 2020. Now, obviously, this was because of the C19 thing. But again, guys, there's a lot of bad things in the world going on right now. As you guys know, inflation, you know, macroeconomics does not look good, in my opinion, especially with increasing rates. Now, like I said, a lot of crypto influencers out there, they don't care about that. They live like in a bubble and they just think crypto is going up forever. And I'm just being real with you guys here. Now also guys, let me show you another interesting thing here, that what I think is happening right now, and I think that we are in the current moment. So you guys see this right here. This in my opinion is a bearish flag. Now what is a bearish flag? So I just searched here what a bearish flag is, and this is basically what a bearish flag is. So this is a bearish flag right here. We have a huge bear trend, then we're working our way back up, right? And then boom, we come down. Tell me this doesn't look exactly like this, what's happening right now, right? And then obviously a lot of people like to find the measured move, either like that or even like that, and then they bring it to something like this. It's exactly where the 300 weekly MA is, around there, around 15k. You can either do it like this too, right here. And this one is exactly where the 200 weekly MA is, around 20k. So again, you want to watch this right here. This, in my opinion, the bearish flag. We're probably going to come up right over here and test this very well respected Fibonacci right here, which is a 0.38, which it hit already like almost 3 times, like 2 times right here, which is around 45. Another thing too here, guys, you guys know I love the Fibonacci circles. This is how I made the Fibonacci circle. I just got the top here from 2021 to the bottom, which was around 28k, okay? And then it creates this Fibonacci circle. And what's awesome here is that we topped out at 69, right? 69, right over here at the top of the Fibonacci circle. After we broke this, we came down. Look at that. Came down. So if you come around here and we break this, the next ring, it can definitely come back down, just like it came back down here after it broke this ring, right? So this is how the Fibonacci circles work. And also if you break this 0.23, it can definitely come back down here to 33, right? And yeah, guys, I think after it breaks that 28k, which it has huge resistance here from the past, right? Looking at the 28k right here, boom. After we break that, I think that's going to be a clear sign that we're heading down to 20k. A lot of people are going to lose a lot of confidence. We look back here at the 20s. We only went up in the 20s. Look at this. We have zero support any history right over here or here in the past. We never made any support right here in the 20s. Literally just a little bit right here in 21k and at 28k. But after that 28k is broken, you can definitely come back all the way down to 20. In my opinion, we're probably gonna wick down there in the upper teens. And like I said in the beginning of the video, we're probably gonna have a very healthy V-shaped recovery back up. It's gonna probably be bought very fast. So I'm telling you guys to watch out for this and to keep your eye out, because if this does follow, you guys better be prepared. Again, not financial advice and all that, but this is just what I believe, guys. It's not financial advice. This is not what's going to happen, because we can definitely come back up here and break this. Looking at the TSA, the MACD, looking back in history at how we always touch that 200 weekly MA, in bear markets, and we look right here at the TSA, the weekly, we are under this, the dotted dash right here, which is bear market territory. So this is just a lot of things here that I see that's bearish, but obviously there's a lot of crypto YouTubers out there that show things on the TA that is bullish, right? But my main argument with them too is the real world, the macroeconomics, right? How the macroeconomics has a huge influence on crypto as well. Inflation, war, all these things has a huge impact on crypto as well. So again, guys, take this with a grain of salt. Please don't hate me. I am a bull, the biggest crypto bull there is, and I really hope it goes down, because that just means that you can accumulate more, especially if you're a long-term believer like I am. But this is just my opinion. If you guys want more TA and you guys want to share your TA, you guys can join my free Discord, Invest to Rest Club. I have a thread there just made for TA sharing, and anybody can go out there and just share their TA knowledge. So you guys can check it out in the description below. So thank you guys again. Thank you guys for watching towards the end here. If you guys did, leave a like, subscribe, and thank you guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.